or in stressful situations. So ngayon pa lang, if you are an aspiring flight attendant, tanong mo na to sa sarili mo, are you able to work well under pressure? Can you act quickly? Can you be relied on kapag kailangan ka na in case of an emergency? So ask yourself that if you have that kind of personality. Are you able to work well in a team? Kasi syempre, teamwork means efficiency, especially when it comes to when you will be experiencing emergencies. Very important ang teamwork. Dapat dito hindi yung nagsasarili lang. So ask yourself those questions. Are you flexible? You should be the one who makes it work. Syempre, again, kagaya na nabanggit ko kanina, we don't usually get to fly with the same person every day. Iba-ibang tao ang nakakasalamuha mo. So you have to be flexible. Hindi ikaw dapat yung ikaw pa yung magsasabi na, nako, hayaan ko na sila, bahala sila mag-adjust sa akin. No, you should be flexible and kailangan magaan ka din katrabaho. Okay, next, be patient. You have to have the joy of dealing with other people. Next, you also have to be, what else? Be focused on customer service and customer satisfaction because, syempre, you are working in an airline, so the passenger is the most important person on the flight because kung walang pasahero, walang sasakay, walang kita ang eroplano, wala kang trabaho, walang isusweldo, di ba? So, very important ang ating mga pasahero. They are yung, kumbaga, sila ang dahilan bakit nabubuhay pa ang aviation industry. Alright? And then, be caring and conscientious. Put yourself in the passenger's shoes. How can you make their flight better? How can you make their flight experience unique? Diba? And also, be a problem solver. Kasi on many flights, maybe you will need to put out a fire in case of an emergency. Biglang magkaroon ng, let's say, fire dahil may sumabog na cellphone or mga power bank. Nangyari na yun sa amin. And thankfully, na apula naman because very quick and alert naman yung mga cabin crew na nandun sa flight na yun. So, you also have to be, you should be able to multitask effectively. How many things can you do at once? Ito, isa to sa mga talent ng cabin crew, mag-multitask. Kasi pag nasa aircraft ka na, there is a lot of multitasking going on. Alright? And also, be observant and always be aware of your surroundings because you should be able to notice little things because like I said earlier, when we are already up in the air cruising na, wala nang ibang tao dyan, kumbaga, pasahero na lang and the cabin crew and the pilots. And if anything happens during the flight, ikaw ang unang gagawa ng paraan kung paano hindi mag-escalate yung isang bagay na nangyari during the flight. Alright? Of course, be confident with yourself and portray confidence. Also have a professional manner because always remember to have a professional manner. Why? Because you are representing the brand and the company. So you have to act accordingly. And ito, the most important, of course, na personality trait that you should have if you are an aspiring flight attendant is be punctual. Sa totoo lang, ito yung part ng personality trait ko na talagang for 12 years, talagang na-instill ko na siya sa sarili ko. Even if I'm not at work, always be on time because sa flight attendant work, hindi nag-work ang Filipino time. You should be reporting for your duty, if not on time, earlier. Gaya nga na sinabi ko kanina, we should be reporting for our work 1 hour and 10 minutes before the estimated time of departure. But for me, I do not do that. I usually come to work 1 hour and 30 minutes. Yun na yung maximum. Yun na yung maximum. Tapos minsan kapag if you have to expect traffic, so usually 2 hours before ng estimated of time of departure, nasa office na ako because aside from pre-flight briefing, may mga documents pa din kaming inaasikaso. Alright, and of course, sa personality trait, very important, lastly, is be safety conscious. Because again, you're an aspiring flight attendant and if you become a flight attendant, you will be working in tight spaces and in dangerous environments. So again, if you're a flight attendant, you are a safety personnel, so you have to be safety conscious. Okay, now, so we're moving on to the last requirement of a flight attendant is physical ability. Okay. So being a flight attendant is actually a very physically demanding job, especially when you will be doing it back to back for days on without a break. But here's just a few example of the day-to-day requirements of a flight attendant. Ito sample santo ng day-to-day requirement. That's why you have to have the physical ability because you might be, number one, lifting heavy baggage into the overhead lockers. Minsan nagkakaroon tayo ng mga pasaherong actually hindi naman talaga kami required na magbuhat ng bags ng pasahero because we only assist, hindi magbuhat talaga, mag-a-assist lang kami. We can only lift the baggages of those who are needing special attention like yung mga elderly. Syempre, yung mga elderly, hindi naman nila kayang buhatin minsan yung mga bags nila onto the overhead bins. So we will be there to help them. And for those passengers na malalakas naman, able-bodied passengers, we are there to assist them, not to carry their luggage. Because imagine, if it is a full flight, sabi nga natin, there could be 186 seats in an aircraft. So let's say full flight, 186. Hindi naman pwedeng 186 na bags ng pasahero, ikargahin mo pataas. So uuwi ka ng lumpo nun. So that is why it is not the duty of a flight attendant to lift all the passenger bags, but we are there to assist, all right? So pushing also, part of the physical ability also of a flight attendant is to be able to push a 200-pound service cart up and down the aisle, especially pag turbulence. Napakahirap nito kasi napakabigat nung tinutulak namin na cart sa gitna because naglalaman to ng mga food and beverages. Also, you have to keep your balance during the flight while serving passengers food and drinks, especially during turbulence. Meron kasi tayong mga turbulence, although pag turbulence, diba, alam naman natin na pag turbulence, nagsi-seatbelt sign on. Ibig sabihin, pag nag-seatbelt sign on, nakaupo dapat lahat, fasten seatbelt, walang gagalaw. But meron din kasi tayong tinatawag na clear air turbulence. Clear air turbulence meaning sa visual ng mga piloto, wala kang nakikitang ulap or kumbaga clear siya. Kaya nga clear air turbulence, pero biglang magiging bumpy yung aircraft. Meron tayong tinatawag na ganun. So you have to know how to keep your balance during the flight, especially during a clear air turbulence, because it's not easy as it sounds when you have your hands full. It has happened to me a lot of times, of course. And then for part also of the physical ability of a cabin crew is walking for miles through airport at huwag mawala sa loob ng airport, especially if bago kami dun sa airport na yun, especially in my experience, yung pinakamahabang airport na nilakad ko na pagod ako is Shanghai. Yun yung airport na pwede akong mawala sa loob sa sobrang laki niya. So yun, hindi kami nakasakay sa, di ba may mga pasahero na parang nakasakay sila sa parang mga golf carts, mga ganun. Hindi kami nakakasakay sa mga ganun. So, lakad lang talaga kami. So, part also of the physical ability is working in tight spaces, managing to work in a pressurized cabin with recycled air for extended periods, and then managing to get to managing your jet lag and sleep deprivation. Kasi once you work as a flight attendant, expect your body clock to get messed up. Ako, in my own experience, especially nung nag-uumpisa pa lang ako bilang flight attendant, on my first week of work, talagang nasira yung tulog ko. Because usually, ang mga schedule kasi ng mga flight attendant, let's say 5 days working, 2 days off. On the first 3 days or first 2 days, ang flight mo niyan is puro early morning flights. Let's say early morning flights, 3 a.m. yung call time nyo. So for the first 3 days, ganun yung work mo. And then, yung the last 2 days, bigla kayong magiging afternoon. So, ang nangyayari minsan, sa sobrang pagod mo na dun sa 3 days mo na early morning, hindi ka na makatulog dun sa pang 4th day mo.